Jungkook has once again captured the attention of fans around the world, and this time it is not only because of his powerful vocals, explosive stage presence, or unforgettable choreography. A striking new look has become the center of attention, with the BTS star appearing in a sophisticated dark gray suit, a dramatic striped shirt, polished black shoes, and an effortless expression that immediately created the aura of a modern dance king. In the image circulating among fans, Jungkook appears to be walking confidently across a large stage while a colorful floral visual fills the enormous screen behind him. The atmosphere is elegant, theatrical, and distinctly Korean, while the audience seated behind him appears to be dressed in a mixture of contemporary and traditional inspired clothing. The combination has created an image that feels less like an ordinary performance photograph and more like a moment from a major cultural production. For ARMY, however, the most striking element is Jungkook himself. His posture, his movement, the way his jacket falls naturally around his shoulders, and the calm confidence in his expression all contribute to the impression that he does not need to do anything extraordinary to command attention. He simply walks forward, and the entire scene seems to revolve around him. That is precisely why the phrase King of Dance has once again begun appearing in fan reactions and entertainment discussions. To be clear, the image itself does not provide enough information to independently confirm the exact event, date, or production in which it was taken, so this story should be understood as an entertainment-style feature inspired by the image rather than a verified report of a specific newly announced event. Yet regardless of the exact occasion, the visual demonstrates something that has become central to Jungkook's public image over the years: his ability to transform even a simple movement into a memorable performance moment. From the first glance, the new styling immediately stands apart from some of Jungkook's more familiar stage appearances. Instead of relying on a heavily decorated outfit, bright colors, or an elaborate costume, the look is built around sophistication. The dark gray tailoring creates a mature silhouette, while the loose striped shirt underneath adds movement and texture. The jacket appears structured but not overly rigid, allowing Jungkook to move naturally. His trousers continue the same understated color palette, creating a continuous silhouette from his shoulders to his shoes. The result is a look that feels powerful without appearing forced. That balance may be one of the reasons the image has attracted so much attention. Jungkook has always been known for experimenting with different styles, but there is something particularly striking about seeing him in a look that combines classic tailoring with the relaxed confidence of a performer who knows exactly how to use his body on stage. The outfit does not appear to compete with him. Instead, it becomes part of the performance. Every movement of the jacket, every step, and every change in posture contributes to the visual story. Behind him, the giant floral display provides an almost cinematic contrast. The vivid reds, greens, blues, pinks, and oranges make the background incredibly colorful, while Jungkook's monochromatic outfit separates him from the visual chaos. This creates a natural focal point. Even without a spotlight directly centered on him, the composition makes it difficult for the eye to look anywhere else. That visual effect is particularly important when discussing Jungkook's performance style. A great dancer is not simply someone who can execute complicated choreography. A great performer understands space, timing, posture, facial expression, and the relationship between movement and visual composition. Jungkook has repeatedly demonstrated an ability to use all of those elements together. His dancing often feels powerful because it combines precision with natural movement. He can hit a sharp beat with enormous intensity, then immediately soften his expression or movement without making the transition appear artificial. That versatility has become one of his trademarks. It is also why his dance moments so often become viral clips. Fans do not necessarily need to see an entire performance to understand his appeal. Sometimes a few seconds are enough. A turn, a head movement, a change in expression, a simple walk toward the camera, or a perfectly timed gesture can become the part that fans remember most. In the photograph, Jungkook's posture creates exactly that kind of impression. One hand appears relaxed while the other rests near his pocket, and his body is positioned as though he is moving naturally through the space rather than posing rigidly for a photograph. His gaze is calm. His expression is controlled. there is no obvious attempt to exaggerate the moment. And somehow, that restraint makes the image even more powerful. It suggests confidence rather than performance for the camera. This is one of the fascinating contradictions of Jungkook's stage personality. When he performs, he can be intensely energetic, athletic, and explosive. Yet he can also create impact through minimal movement. That ability to switch between extremes is one of the reasons he has remained such a compelling performer. For ARMY, the new look therefore represents more than a change of clothes. It feels like another chapter in Jungkook's evolving artistic identity. The youngest member of BTS has spent years growing in front of a global audience. Fans have watched him move from a young performer with enormous potential into an artist capable of commanding huge stages on his own. Every era has brought changes in styling, choreography, vocal approach, and confidence. The transformation has never been completely linear. There have been playful looks, streetwear-inspired moments, elegant formal appearances, powerful performance outfits, and minimalist styles. But the common thread has remained the same: Jungkook knows how to make the clothing serve the performance. That is especially evident in this new visual. The gray suit could easily have looked ordinary on another performer. Instead, his posture and movement make it appear almost like a stage costume designed specifically for him. The striped shirt adds a subtle rebellious quality beneath the formal jacket. It creates a contrast between elegance and freedom. The open neckline prevents the look from becoming overly conservative, while the dark colors maintain a sense of sophistication. His black shoes complete the outfit without distracting from the overall silhouette. The result is mature, stylish, and unmistakably performance-oriented. It is also a look that fits the idea of a performer who has entered a new stage of his career. Jungkook is no longer being viewed simply as the youngest member of one of the world's most successful groups. He has established an identity of his own, and fans increasingly analyze his individual artistic choices with the same intensity they once reserved for group eras. His voice, dancing, fashion, stage presence, and public appearances are all part of that identity. When an artist reaches that level of visibility, even a small stylistic change can generate enormous discussion. A new hairstyle can dominate social media. A jacket can become a fashion reference. A dance move can be recreated thousands of times. A few seconds of eye contact with a camera can become a viral moment. Jungkook's ability to generate those reactions is connected to something deeper than popularity. It comes from years of developing a performance language that audiences recognize instantly. His dance style is often described by fans as clean, powerful, controlled, and effortless. Those words may sound contradictory, but that contradiction is precisely what makes him compelling. Strong dancing can sometimes look physically demanding. Jungkook, however, frequently makes difficult movements look natural. His body appears relaxed even when the choreography requires considerable control. That quality allows audiences to focus on the emotion and musicality of the movement rather than simply noticing the technical difficulty. It is also why the term King of Dance resonates so strongly with his fanbase. Of course, titles such as King of Dance are ultimately expressions of fan admiration rather than official rankings. There is no single universally recognized authority that determines who deserves such a title. Dance is subjective, and the global performance world contains countless extraordinary dancers. But as a fan-created expression, the phrase reflects the impact Jungkook has had on audiences. It describes the feeling that many viewers experience when watching him perform, the sense that the stage becomes his natural environment. That sensation can be difficult to explain technically. It is not only about choreography. It is about presence. Some performers seem to occupy a stage. Others seem to own it. Jungkook frequently belongs to the second category in the eyes of his fans. His physicality contributes heavily to that perception. He has a strong sense of balance and body control, which allows him to transition smoothly between different movement qualities. Sharp choreography becomes cleaner because his movements stop precisely where they need to stop. Fluid choreography becomes expressive because he does not appear to fight against the movement. Even when he is simply standing still, his posture often communicates a sense of rhythm. This is one of the reasons photographs of Jungkook during performances can be so visually compelling. A still image freezes a fraction of a second, yet the viewer can often imagine the movement before and after the photograph was taken. The image supplied here creates exactly that impression. It looks like a frame extracted from a larger performance, but it contains enough information to suggest a story. Jungkook is moving forward. The audience is behind him. The floral screen dominates the environment. The floor reflects the stage lighting. His jacket moves slightly with his stride. Everything suggests motion, even though the photograph itself is static. That is an important characteristic of strong performance photography. It captures not just appearance but energy. And Jungkook has always been a performer whose energy translates particularly well through photographs and short video clips. Another fascinating aspect of the image is the audience and performers in the background. Their clothing appears to reflect a more traditional Korean aesthetic, creating an unusual juxtaposition with Jungkook's contemporary tailoring. This contrast gives the image a sense of cultural dialogue. Modern fashion stands in front of traditional-inspired styling. Contemporary dance energy meets a visual environment filled with references to Korean culture. Whether or not that was the deliberate artistic intention of the original production, the result is visually striking. It creates the feeling of two worlds meeting in a single frame. That may also be why the image feels different from a conventional BTS concert photograph. The environment appears more theatrical and ceremonial. Instead of thousands of fans holding lightsticks, the composition places Jungkook in front of a seated audience and an enormous artistic backdrop. The effect is closer to a fashion performance, cultural showcase, or stage presentation. This makes his outfit even more appropriate. The gray suit acts almost like a bridge between the modern and traditional elements surrounding him. It is neither a traditional costume nor a casual streetwear outfit. It is contemporary formal wear presented within a culturally rich environment. Jungkook's ability to inhabit that visual world without appearing uncomfortable is part of what makes the photograph so compelling. He looks completely at ease. That ease is something fans have noticed throughout his career. Early in BTS's rise, Jungkook was often described as shy or reserved away from the stage. Yet once the music began, a different side of him emerged. The stage gave him a space in which physical expression became natural. Over time, that contrast between off-stage quietness and on-stage intensity became part of his appeal. Fans saw a performer who could appear playful and relaxed one moment and then transform completely when the choreography started. As he matured, the distinction became more nuanced. His confidence increased, but the sense of authenticity remained. He did not need to constantly appear larger than life. Instead, he learned when to be intense and when to be understated. The new look seems to reflect that maturity. There is no exaggerated gesture. There is no theatrical facial expression. He simply walks with confidence. Yet the image still feels powerful. That is perhaps the strongest statement the photograph makes about Jungkook's evolution. He no longer needs to prove that he can command attention. The attention comes naturally. Fans have also become increasingly interested in the relationship between Jungkook's fashion and his dancing. Clothing is an important part of choreography because it changes how movement is perceived. Loose clothing can emphasize fluidity. Structured jackets can make shoulder movements appear sharper. Wide trousers can amplify leg movements. Shoes affect footwork and posture. Sleeves and hems can create visual trails during spins and turns. In this case, the suit appears loose enough to move with Jungkook without restricting him. The jacket creates a subtle visual extension of his upper body. The trousers fall naturally, allowing the legs to remain the focus during movement. The shirt introduces vertical stripes that can make motion appear longer and more elongated. Even without seeing the full choreography, the styling suggests that the outfit was capable of supporting movement. This is one of the differences between clothing designed simply to look good in a photograph and clothing designed for a performer. Performance styling must consider movement, lighting, camera angles, and distance. What looks understated up close can become dramatic under stage lights. What appears simple in a still photograph can create an entirely different effect when the performer begins dancing. Jungkook's image has that potential. Under changing stage lights, the gray fabric would likely reflect subtle highlights while the dark shirt would provide contrast. During movement, the jacket could shift around his shoulders, emphasizing the rhythm of his body.